All right, Broncos country, we are back, and it is the biggest game in a decade. I don't think that's arguable at all for the Denver Broncos. Mike Carmelini, Colum Cronin, Broncos 14-3 against the Buffalo Bills, those pesky Bills. 12-5, I guess 13-5 if you count last week's win against the Jags. Colum, this is as big as it gets. Uh, you and I have different thoughts on this game, I think, but we'll get into all that. How you doing? We just came off a national show. Now we're doing our favorite Broncos show. How you doing? Have you recovered from the last show in the last 10 minutes that I gave you for a break?
We're closer to kick off. It is certainly the biggest Broncos game in a decade. That run to Super Bowl 50, we all remember. I think we all knew going into last season's game realistically what was going to happen, so it didn't carry, even though obviously it was breaking the drought, it didn't carry the same weight that this one does. The despair, famously, despair I can handle, it's the hope that kills you.
It's knowing that hope kills you is what kills you. So, but it's all about expectations. So last year our expectations were hopefully tempered by most. Let's see what we've got with the new kid. And then we made it kind of eked into the playoffs. This year was a different story. The Broncos went 14-3, although a lot of people argue that it was ugly the way they won. I don't really care how they won as long as they win. That's all that matters at the end of the day. But this year expectations, at least at the beginning of the season, were more about get to the playoffs and win a playoff game. And here we are, AFC West champs, number one seed in the AFC, with an opportunity to win a playoff game and get to the AFC Championship game. So expectations maybe have changed a little bit just based on the seeding, but they got to win this one to make some, I guess, to make me happy. I mean, it's a good season. It's a great season, but I need this one, man. This is a big one.
It's huge, and but it's interesting. There isn't a lot of love, there isn't a lot of respect for the Broncos, but on all sorts of levels. I think, Mike, you've seen it right in the betting markets. Obviously the Broncos opening as underdogs, and I think that you saw it in the reaction to what Sean Payton said to Luca during the week, which was hammered by many of the national media members. So I think they would very much like to see the Broncos lose this. For the narrative, it would be much better for them, for the Bills to get the win, and Josh Allen to march towards the Super Bowl. So the Broncos, have the opportunity to shut a lot of people up if they were to get the victory today.
Well, they've had 13 days off to prepare for this game, where the Bills have had 6, and they're very beat up. And then playing at Mile High is tough. So the great equalizer could come into play there. They got the towels on every seat. It's going to be loud, as Sean Payton has instructed each and every one of the 70,000 plus fans in the stadium how to behave and when to behave. They'll do what they're told because Sean tells everyone what they're doing. Offensive coach versus defensive coach. But it doesn't feel that way. So Sean is the offensive coach in this picture, and Sean McDermott is the defensive head coach. But it almost feels like this game should be looked at the other way. It's going to be the offense, the depleted offense, but the offense of the Bills, namely Josh Allen, James Cook, versus this defense, which has been tuned up a little bit, I guess I could say. Not revamped, but certainly tuned up. Some nice pieces and parts added. Isn't that really what this comes down to? Josh Allen will eventually turn into Superman, and can Vance Joseph's defense, I don't know, stop that tidal wave, yank that cape, and stop him?
Yeah, that is exactly what this comes down to, Mike. Is that's the reality. Is we are taking on the closest thing to John Elway that has existed in the NFL since the Duke hung up his cleats. And I've talked about it, but the reality is that we have seen what a QB with superhuman abilities can do. He can take a bad roster. He can paper over the cracks, particularly in the playoffs. And there's a reason that all these years on, we and the NFL still talk about the drive. John Elway took really terrible Broncos teams to Super Bowls, dragged them there through ability and sheer force of will. And the Broncos are going to have to find a way to stop Josh Allen from turning into Superman, because he was the reason they won that game last week against Jacksonville. They shouldn't have won that. The Jags played really well. They were at home. They appeared to have it going their way. But Allen found enough. Now, you can point to some of the hypocrisy in the fact that the Bills were the team screaming the loudest to outlaw the tush push.
Right. And then they used it to win.
And then they used it ultimately to get the victory. You could certainly point to that, and no one could deny that. But by any means necessary, this is what playoff football is all about.
Well, there's not just one Superman. There's a super kid playing. We've got our own, Bo Nix. When trailing this season, Bo Nix has totaled 2,112 yards, 21 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 74% adjusted completion rate, and 102 passer rating. No slouch himself. He's had less opportunities than certainly Josh Allen, but you can't discount the way that Bo has shined when the team has needed him to do that. And this very well could be another one of those games. Now, I would like to know, how many times did the Jaguars hit Josh Allen last week? Because if it was 6 or more, then that might tell us something, because as you read and everybody else read, if you hit Josh Allen 6 times in a game, he's only won one game, or has he lost them all or something like that? Some weird stat.
He's 1-1.
And the Broncos average 9 hits a game. They are going to tee off on him today with all their wide receivers out. They've got three wide receivers playing, healthy bodies, and they're going to have the opportunity to come after him. Now, if they get home, that could make a difference. And I do want to hit this real quick. Cake, I don't think that they're going to activate Loner for the game. I think that was just a paycheck thing, but we'll see. I could be wrong, but I think that those practice squad elevations were just for a paycheck. But Colum, back to that.
Can he play running back?
Okay, well, we'll talk about the running backs.
I can tell you, Michael Carolini, that last week the Jags, they hit Allen 3 times. They sacked him once.
Okay, so they didn't hit him enough. Yeah. Well, we're going to hit him a lot more than that today, I think. Now, they could go heavy and run the ball down our throat and try that, because it worked for them last time. And I think that's what they're going to need to do. But with the addition of Greenlaw, Singleton, Sternad, however that works out, and Hufanga, they're not going to have the same running lanes, at least I hope, that they had last time. So really, this will come down to spying Josh Allen. If they can hold Cook, into that 70-yard rushing range, 75 yards, it'll come down to Josh Allen for sure. Now, not a big stat guy, but I would point out that this season, did Josh Allen miss a bunch of games that I don't know about? Because Bo Nix has 3,900 passing yards and Josh Allen has 36, where Josh Allen and then 25 touchdowns, pretty even numbers there. Where Josh Allen really separates himself is running the ball. Is Vance Joseph going to put a spy on him? Is he going to try and control that? What are they going to do about that? That's my biggest fear of the game. Again, it's the Superman thing, but it's actually with his feet. If he starts running wild, it could be a long day for this defense.
Yeah, they did that thing against the Jets where he suited up and he took the first snap in order to keep the streak going. He didn't actually play in that game. Yeah, look, the reality is that the Broncos are going to have to find a way to limit him, because he can beat you with his arm, or especially in the playoffs, as we have seen kind of time and again. He can beat you with his legs, and I mean, he's so big. I don't think he maybe people realize how big he is. He has the ability to make the yards. He doesn't do what say Dart does, and
Right.
put his head into crazy situations. Now, I think a bit like Elway, like helicopter, if it needed it, he could do it, but he's very good at protecting himself. He's very good at drawing flags, as all of the top QBs tend to be. That is
He's
the
savvy.
reality of
He's savvy.
the modern NFL. But he has taken more sacks this year than he has done at any point in his career.
And he's had 40, right?
Yeah, which is a significant, obviously massive jump on last year, and a significant jump on the year before. You got to go all the way back to a second season in the league to have similar sorts of numbers. So that is interesting. We need our edge guys to show up. We really need a big game for them. They started the season off really hot. They haven't maintained the pace. I think you would have to say that. I think the interior guys have been kind of fantastic throughout the season, but we really need the edge guys. You've got to find a way to contain Allen without being too aggressive, because he has the ability to really get you. If you are overly aggressive and he escapes, well, my goodness, can he eat up the ground at that point? So it's about playing disciplined. That I think will be really important.
Yeah. If a couple of
today's
sloughs like us know that, certainly Vance Joseph has to know that. Josh Allen is the Buffalo Bills' leading rusher in TDs, and so he leads the team in passing TDs and rushing TDs. It's the sixth time he's done that in his career. So he will score touchdowns in this game somehow. He will get the end zone. He just finds it. And then they're both, interesting enough, both fourth quarter comeback kind of guys too. So this could be an exciting end, heartbreaking or heart exploding one way or the other. Now, but you see this as a closer game, I take it, or are you seeing this as something that could get away from the Broncos? I just feel like, with what you're talking about, the pass rush, I think the Broncos can afford to sell out a little bit They can play a lot of man with the receivers that the Bills have this week. The defensive back shouldn't have a lot of trouble keeping these guys covered long enough for the pass rush to get there and to be able to keep one of those linebackers in close to keep an eye on what Josh is doing to keep him from breaking off anything more than maybe a 5 or 7 yard run. You're not going to want him running too many times, but you don't want him running for 25 yards or converting a 3rd and 15 or some heartbreaking stuff like that. Like, I think the Broncos can plan around that.
I mean, I think this will be a very, very close game. I think overall the NFL has endeavored to have close games over the last few
conspiracy
years.
theory.
No, it's not that. Not that this is scripted in any way. But,
all right.
They like everything is set up the way in which obviously the draft, the cap, they want it to be competitive, right?
Sure.
That's the reality of it. And kickers have gotten better because blowouts are not good for the league. Because people stop watching and that affects TV revenue. So we've seen parity, like the league prioritizes parity. That is not a conspiracy theory. Yeah, there are people out there who believe in the league. I don't believe that for a second, but I think that the league wants it to be competitive. They do not want a team dominating.
They don't want dynasty.
No, they don't. It's not good for them either. So I think this will probably be a field goal game ultimately. And what was interesting, obviously in the early games last week, the team that was leading with at the 2 minute mark ended up losing. Now it was the Bills that changed that ultimately, and that would play out differently from there. But that was, I think that was telling. This is, a Bills team who, and a Josh Allen who are in search of a Super Bowl because they know they've left it behind, right? That 13-second game will forever haunt them until until he actually wins a ring.
Right? And don't forget wide right from back in the day too.
Oh yeah, if you're a Bills fan, obviously, I mean it's truly incredible to go to 4 Super Bowls in a row and not win any of them, with Jim Kelly, who was another absolutely fantastic QB. But it was almost easier, right, for Elway in some ways, right? He goes to the Super Bowl, he gets absolutely blown out, and there's nothing he could have done, and yet the media narrative was that he was a choker. Like, we could have had 18 players on the field against the 49ers in that Super Bowl, and it wouldn't have mattered.
The NFC dominated the AFC during that period. They won 13
particularly in that game.
Yeah. Particularly in that game.
I mean, Montana was just absolutely incredible.
Rice, Montana, what a team.
So you've got to, like, that will factor in. Like there's a, when we won it, right, in Super Bowl 37, like helicopter, that was Elway putting it all on the line. Now the Jags had beaten us the year before, so it is possible to derail destiny, and that is what the Broncos are going to do. That's a good tagline: derail destiny.
Yeah, probably should have used that. I don't even remember what I titled this thing. Just like Bills versus Broncos. I didn't put on my my thinking cap with that. But the Broncos defense versus Josh Allen, top 5 offense. The Bills run more 22 personnel than any other team in the league. So 2 back, 2 tight end, and a wide receiver. But I saw something from our good friend Zach Seegers where he says, I'm going to pull this up. So since week 10 so this is heavy personnel. The Broncos are number 1 in success rate, 3rd in rushing success rate, 3rd EPA play allowed, 5th in yards play per allowed, 4th in explosive play rate. Like, they're doing a really good job against heavy right now. Now, you'd have to go back and look at all those and see who the quarterbacks were. Were they able to take off and run and create their own plays like Josh Allen can? But it's a little bit encouraging if we're looking for something to hang our hat on. They may be forced into running that sort of stuff. Now, you're going to have to watch out, obviously, for Knox and Kincaid, the tight ends, to pick up the slack of those wide receivers. But if they're running heavy, the Broncos seem to be pretty good at defending that these days.
Yeah, like I mean, I think that it will be very different from last year because I know I've seen some Broncos fans this week kind of talk about, oh, it was so close, and it's just that they executed better in the second half, but they were toying with us. Josh Allen was completing at will. They were moving the ball at will last year.
This isn't last year, Colum.
Well, no, that's my point. Yeah. The stats that you've given are very encouraging. Mike, if our running back room wasn't made up of hobbits, I would be very confident going into this game. But for some reason, the Denver Broncos made a decision to go into the season with only one running back who is over like 205 pounds. No. And no, he was brilliant. This is not a knock on J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins is a fantastic runner. Okay, he when you consider what he what he was averaging for the Broncos, it was mightily impressive.
It was like 5.7 yards a carry.
Yeah, right. Like he was over five yards a carry. Right. He last year he was above 4.5. I mean, this is a guy who absolutely can run the football, but it's also a guy who's never once played a full NFL season.
Yeah,
like this was always going to come back to us. So here we are.
It wasn't the Dobbins signing. It was the failure to
Dobbins should always have been RB1, right? Yeah. Always, absolutely. But you had to take out an insurance policy.
Yeah. The Bills are down bad. Their safety Poyer's out with a hammy. Harrison's out. Shavers, their big running back, Ty Johnson, for pass protecting, is out. They're hurt everywhere, but it looks like Ed Oliver's back. That's a big one to get back. So against a Broncos team, so first of all, you need to know the Bills are allowing over 5 yards a carry on defense, but the only running back that we have that's averaging over that this is going to make you cringe, is Jaleel McLaughlin, one of your hobbits. But he's averaging over 5 yards a carry, and there's enough sample size where, had it not been for Oliver coming back, I would have felt fairly confident that we could have put something resembling a running game to get today. Like, what are your thoughts on the chances that the Broncos can put something together on the ground today?
I would absolutely have. I would like Jaleel McLaughlin to be RB1 today, which is telling everything because he is a hobbit, Mike. I mean, this is a guy who is 185 pounds. Like, look, the guy runs really, really well. Okay, he does. But the reality is that in his 3 years in the league, he's had 226 carries.
That's not his fault.
He's never had more than 14 carries in a game. Well, I'd be giving him that today. Will Sean do that? Will Sean do that? If you're watching, give me reason to, I would 100% be all in on giving Jaleel, RJ Harvey is very good at catching the ball out of the backfield, right? Very good at that. But RJ Harvey is not RB1. He's not a bell cow back, and using him as such, I think, doesn't do him any favors. So I'm intrigued to see what Sean Payton can cook up. He will undoubtedly have something cooked up.
He definitely will.
He is, I think, the biggest beneficiary of the bye week. I think. I don't know, like, ultimately for players, once you're out there, does it really make that much of a difference? I think the home factor is a bigger factor than the bye in many respects.
The altitude with a tired team who just played a rough game, all that late in the game, they're going to be feeling it, Colum.
That's certainly the hope, but look, these are professional athletes. But
they're so close. The professional athletes are so close, and what's great and what's good that altitude can even that. It only has to move it this much. And Sean Payton is 4-0 coming off of playoff buys.
Yeah,
he's never lost a game when he's had 2 weeks to prepare for a playoff game.
And that's why I said I think he's the biggest beneficiary, right? Because he has been in his bag of tricks. Now, he talked about the respect that him and Sean McDermott have for one another. I thought that was very interesting. Was he talked about how you as a head coach, as he describes himself now, an older head coach,
he is.
You have to go against some of the things that can happen as you get older, right? Where your experience and stories tend to lead to you becoming more concerned, more conservative, worried
second
about
guessing, worrying,
what can go wrong. But he talked about that, and talked about the need to go against that, and talked about how his dad, I think, being involved in insurance, they were aware of all the risks.
They were risk averse.
So that will be fascinating, because I think Sean will be in his bag tonight. And like, Bo Nix has grown immensely. Bo struggled mightily. I know people don't want to hear that, but he struggled mightily last year to get anything going. I don't think that will be the case at all this time around. I think he has grown. I think there are a significant group of people out there that would love to see Bo Nix fail. Because it would fit.
Not on this show.
Their narrative. No, this is national media. Really, we're talking about. But I think that Bo is like, he is so steady, and I think he has. After a really poor start to the season, there's no getting away from that. He has grown, and particularly he has taken steps since the bye. So look, I think there's lots of reason for optimism if you are a Broncos fan, but I don't think.
Don't say but.
Yeah.
Don't say but. Cake. Harvey is great on the outside. Bill's weakness. I said this Wednesday or Thursday on the show with David Talks Broncos. We do a show every week. And the perimeter is a weakness of this defense for the Bills, Colum, before you go all negative on me and I have to block you. Broncos have the number 1 O-line. Now, I know that doesn't. It's weird how that doesn't always show, but I don't know if that's a running back issue. I think it might be your Hobbit thing more than anything. But with Wattenberg out, Forsyth's going to have to come through again. I think Bosa and Rousseau can cause us some trouble, and Bo can be susceptible to knockdown passes, and the Bills are really good at that too. So I do see some issues that they'll have. I've heard a lot of national pundits and even some of guys on my show that have come in and have talked about how this could be a middle of the field game. I think that's one of those narratives that comes out and then people just kind of latch onto. But maybe think about this a different way. I really think the perimeter might be a weakness for the Buffalo Bills defense. And that is a way that they could get Harvey very involved. Sean's going to try every screen imaginable. But Harvey out of the backfield on a little swing route or just leak out could be very dangerous. And then Bo Nix with some design runs. Guys, it is time. It's playoffs. It's divisional round. We are not protecting our quarterback. That's his job to protect himself. They've got to let Bo run, and I think he's going to have the opportunities to do that today in this game.
Like, again, tons of reasons for optimism, and lots that you can point to, and the Broncos are the number 1 seed, but you can't get away from the fact that we are a month removed from the Jaguars coming in to Denver, to altitude, 2 mile high, and beating us, properly beating, not getting a lucky win with the bounce of ball. They shut us down and they beat us, and
we lost one game like that this year. That one.
So
that's the one you're going to call out. The one time the Broncos,
I said we're the number 1 seed. But they got their butts kicked that game. We got our butts kicked.
That was their wake up call. So 98 Broncos, they had their wake up call. We had ours. We have 2 wide receivers. I'm going to throw another one at you.
The 98 Broncos. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to throw another one at you.
Terrell Davis.
2015 Broncos. This year's Broncos have 2 wide receivers with over 65 catches. The last time we had that was in 2015. Stick that where the sun don't shine. Jags are frauds. They are not frauds, Cake. That's a hell of a football team. At least they better, because they whooped us. But I'll tell you what, if the Jags, all the respect to that team. What's his name? Trevor Lawrence. The guy was on a heater. I mean, they were just they were right in the middle of that. They were feeling it. Everything was working for them. I thought the Broncos looked like they just got smacked around the whole game. I don't see this game playing out that way. I'm not saying the Broncos, guaranteed a victory here, but I am not seeing that kind of smackdown. We're healthier. We've had 2 weeks to prepare. I don't see that. I can't believe you even brought that game up on this show. I think you should be talking about the Matt Prater versus Big Nuts Lutz competition, because this game could come down to a field goal. Who do you trust more? Go ahead and say Matt Prater.
Where is the kick from?
It doesn't.
If the kick's inside the 45, absolutely Will Lutz, 100%. Will ain't a long kick guy.
Well, don't forget Matt Prater.
He's so good from 45.
Where was Matt Prater last night, do you think?
Don't care.
Shotgun Willie's probably.
Doesn't matter. That's how he always plays the game.
How he prepped for his game.
As Broncos fans, you can't be worried about what players were doing last night. You got to do what they did on the field.
All right, fair enough. Broncos gonna need to they're gonna need to play that grind out sort of 8-minute drive game. I think this is how the Broncos win this game, Colum. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to give you my case. The Broncos are going to go for the long sustained drive like they've been doing. They're going to take 7-8 minutes off the clock. It's all going to come down to red zone. Broncos still have the number 1 red zone defense. They're going to have to figure out how to stop Josh from running in it. I don't think they're going to pass it in from the red zone. I think they're going to run it in from the red zone. They can figure out how to do that, hold them to field goals, Matt Prater, and we score touchdowns. I think that's how the Broncos win. I'm not too worried about what goes on between the 20s. I just see Vance keeping things in front of him, trying not to give up a 50-yard touchdown and then win it in the red zone. I think that's how the Broncos can do this. And I think it's the only way they can do this is contain Josh and, pick their spots and let Bo kind of do his thing. If they can keep James Cook and Josh Allen from running all over them, the Broncos will win this game. Counterpoint.
that is the game plan, right? As we would say here, right? Stick it up the jumper, and play keep away from Josh Allen, right?
No.
The long methodical drives, right? That's absolutely what you want. That's why you'd like a back who was, you know,
We've been doing it without a big back, though. We've been doing it.
This is a serious step up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a serious step up. That is.
I don't think their defense is a serious step up. I don't think their rush defense is that serious.
They're right. But the rush defense isn't. But the playoffs, their pass defense. I mean, again, this is what kills me is their rush defense is absolutely there to exploit. It really is. I hope we can do it. I hope Sean has a plan. And you know what? If he does and he gets it right, he ain't going to be shy in telling us all about it.
No, he will for sure. Well, Bo Nix is out on the field.
Look now.
Bo Nix is on the field shuffling his or juggling his balls. If you know what I'm talking about, you do. I don't mean anything weird by that, but he's getting warmed up. Looks like a nice day there. Doesn't look like weather's going to be a big deal. So may the best team win. I don't like the framing of this game. I don't like how it becomes Josh Allen versus Bo Nix. But there's always an inkling of truth to that stuff. Josh Allen is, I mean, I think he's the best quarterback left in the playoffs right now. You could argue Matt Stafford, but Josh Allen is the king right now. It's our job to knock him off. They beat us last year, but we're at home. We're prepared. I think Bo Nix is going to be up. I expect Bo Nix to play well today. The Hobbits notwithstanding, we got to get some semblance of a run game. How many yards rushing? Would you say that Bo Nix gets 30 yards rushing, over or under?
Oh, Bo will get more. We need Bo.
Yeah, thanks, Cake. I would say over 30. Now Josh Allen, over 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, that's the problem, right? See, this is a frustrating game. It's I'm very nervous about this game.
If we were playing anybody, like the Bills were my nightmare because
the matchups
because of Josh Allen, because I saw the Broncos do this with Elway, right? And that's the piece. There's that famous clip as well, right? Super Bowl 50, right? And the entire O-line, you know that clip where they all have their hands up and they're chanting Peyton F. and Manning, F. and Manning. Like, there are certain players, right? And it's not that, like Bo Nix, I'm delighted we have Bo Nix as our QB, but players, like the Bills players are desperate to try to get Josh Allen a ring, right? Because they know what it means. And Bo's just at the start of his career. And those O-line guys, Peyton Manning was beat up. He hadn't played well that year, but they were desperate to get him a ring to go out. And that can make all the difference.
I remember
That's
sitting.
I didn't want it to be the Bills.
Talking about, okay, now the Patriots came to Denver in the AFC Championship game.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They were just, of course, they were going to beat us because they always do. And the Broncos said, no, we'll take this one. C.J. Anderson with a walk-off touchdown run of whatever, 35 yards or whatever that was. Is that the right game? We've seen this picture before at Mile High. There is a history between the Bills and the Broncos. There's a recent history, but I just don't put as much. I'm trying not to put as much weight on last year's playoff game as I am this year. I think with Hufanga and Greenlaw and Singleton all playing, the run game is not going to be there for them as much. These guys are they know what's coming this time. Last time, I think they were just happy to be in the playoffs. This feels different. I think they're more confident. I think they're going to sell out to win this game. If Moss gets flagged for DPI on some BS 40-yard pass, I swear I've got 2 big screen TVs in the. I'm going to put something through one of them. We can't have that. But other than that, last few notes I guess I've got before we make our picks. So both Caleb Lohner and it looks like Elijah Moore, both were just paycheck elevations for all of you excited to see those guys play. I tried to tell you that was probably just, I think we're all set. We're not going to bring Caleb Lohner in, the guy who had 4 plays and got a penalty on all 4 plays and his only on-field time. Was not expecting him to be in a divisional round playoff game today. It looks like Ed Oliver will be on a snap count, but they think he looks pretty good. So that's huge for the Bills. We'll have to work around that. I'm sure that we planned for that. And the Giants did officially hire John Harbaugh as their next head coach. That was just announced. So as predicted, Harbaugh goes to the Giants.
I wonder if that means that he won the power struggle there because he didn't want to report to Joe Shane. And I think that allegedly was what the holdup was. So if he's signing that deal, he's probably won that particular battle.
Well, all these are coming from like Rappaport and all those. I'll wait until a real reporter puts something out to find out what really happened there. But yeah, it sounds like money was already decided, and it was really just about control and who does what, who he really has to answer to, and all that kind of stuff. But nobody's watching this for that. They want to know what our picks are. Everybody knows my pick. Colum, I'll let you go first, and then I will come back in with the correct pick. See if I have to block you or not. I get the feeling you're gonna take the safe way out, and you're gonna pick the Bills here, unless you change your mind.
The safe way, yeah, safe way on a Broncos show, yeah. I desperately want the Broncos to win. I can
tell by that ugly sweater
so much. I'm delighted. Yeah. Yes, I have arrived when Mike is calling my sweaters ugly. Fantastic. Mission accomplished, ladies and gentlemen. If you compare what Mike and I generally wear, Mike would not be found dead in my wardrobe.
You look like something out of a tie-dye closet circa 1972 is what you look like.
Absolutely. Joining the Grateful Dead on tour.
That's right.
I desperately want the Broncos to do it. Alas, I fear that the Bills win it 29-27.
Thanks, Derpy. Oh, you didn't get a chance to read that? Derby says, bro, as a Steelers fan, I want Denver to win because nobody wants an organization that lost 4 Super Bowls in a row and the big game let alone win it. I mean, I love your I love his derpy entertainment too.
That's fantastic. Awesome. Maybe he wants to come on tour with the Grateful Dead with me.
Yeah, he might. I'm surprised you don't have. You should get a derpy shirt. Derpy, you should send Colum. Well, he's in Ireland, so you'd have to, it'd cost you a bit, but he would definitely wear that shirt. And it's the first time I've seen you, so thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. Yeah, I know where you're going. Give me your score. Give me your score, Colum.
29-27.
All right. Here's the problem with that. First of all, you're wrong. And second of all,
I hope I am. Yeah,
that's a lot of scoring. If we score that many points, if there's that many points scored, then yeah, I would say we might be in trouble because that means our defense isn't getting it done. And I trust Josh Allen to score the points when needed. Again, I'm going to fall back on the offensive plan. I think we march. I think we soak up clock. Hopefully, we're scoring at least some of the time, and they're not getting in the end zone. I forget what I predicted on the national show we did when we picked them all. But I think the Broncos are going to win this game, Colum. I think this is a different story, different team, more experience now. Pressure's on I say the pressure is on the Bills. It's crazy because we're the number 1 seed. The pressure is on them to win. It's on McDermott. If he'd have lost that game last week, he might have been out of a job. I don't know. I think that this seriously, like, they're feeling the pressure. They need to win. You're hearing all the if not now. There's no, Mahomes. There's no Lamar. All that. No Burrow. Everybody acting like it's a free ride for the Bills. Saying that, they played a tough game and beat a tough Jags team. I think it will be a tough game. I think the Broncos are going to win this game. I think we're going to go to the AFC Championship game. And I would say, I forget what I said, but I'll say it'll be like 24-20. I'll say that. In fact, I think, Cake was close, 28-24. Hang on a second. Ireland. Wait a minute. Then how is he a Broncos fan? Isn't everybody a Broncos fan? There's no Steelers fans in Ireland. Don't say otherwise. There probably is. How does that make sense? Explain yourself, Colum. How are you a Broncos fan? Everybody wants to know.
The magic of John Elway and those beautiful throwback, what now throwback uniforms. The orange and that beautiful blue, and John Elway doing magical things on the field. And when I started watching it, get this, I showed highlights on Monday night. They were not the day before. They were 8 days prior.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You guys had, oh my gosh.
Talk about tape delay.
Yeah, you poor guys over there. So he deserves it. He's one of the biggest Broncos fans I know. Derby, thanks for coming in, man. I would love seeing new viewers. It's 30 years ago. We're old, okay? We were all there for Peyton Manning too. We were already full on Broncos fans when Peyton came in.
Cake's comment is probably telling of our ages.
Now I feel attacked because I already have a cardiologist appointment, and I have pills on standby in case I need them. You're welcome, though. Thanks, man. Great show. Great to see you. I will see everyone. We're gonna win this game, by the way. So don't listen to Colum. Colum's just poopy pants. He's protecting himself.
I gotta decide. Yeah, I gotta decide who my vibe check is gonna be for.
That's all you're doing. This is how it's the reverse jinx. He protects himself so that he can say, "Hey, I knew we were gonna lose. I don't have to worry about it. I'll take all that stress. I'll put it all on my shoulders. Carmelini's shoulders are strong enough to carry Colum and I and the Broncos to a win." Yes, Cake could be a nail biter, but we're good at that. We're really good at that. So it's it's less than an hour till kickoff. I'm going to go get in position. I will see Colum. I'll see you next week at some point in time. I'm sure I'll be texting with you tonight, and I will see all of you out there after the game on the post-game show, the Mile High After Party with Zach Seegers and David Talks Broncos. Let's get out of here. Guys, thank you everyone in the chat. Sorry I didn't get to all of them, but we tried to keep this one quick so we could all get our snacks ready and stuff. We're going on 48 minutes. So, Colum, can you just tell everybody go Broncos?
Absolutely. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.